Russian motorcycles proved helpless against Ukrainian FPV drones. Footage from Ukraine's 45th Artillery Brigade shows a Russian assault group attempting to advance on motorcycles. After suffering major equipment losses, Russian troops resorted to two-wheeled transport and even ATVs. But this tactic did little to save them. Ukrainian UAV operators tracked and struck with precision, first taking down one motorcycle, then continuing their assault. One by one, the drones delivered accurate hits, leaving no Russian troops in this area untouched. Ukrainian FPV drones staged an ambush on a Russian assault group, moving with motorcycles and buggies on the eastern front. GoPro footage from a Russian soldier shows the unit advancing with two motorcycles and two ATVs. As a drone approached, the soldiers dismounted and opened fire, but every shot missed. The Ukrainian drones circled overhead before diving straight into a buggy, exploding just meters away from a soldier. The blast destroyed the vehicle and left one Russian fighter badly wounded. In a separate action, a Ukrainian soldier fired a 120mm mortar round into a basement where several Russian soldiers had taken cover. This attack proved fatal, with no survivors reported among the Russian personnel. Russian soldiers were ambushed in the Sumy-Kursk direction by drone operators from Ukraine's 103rd Territorial Defense Force Brigade, specifically the Chorny Strij unit. Drones were strategically positioned along key Russian movement corridors, targeting advancing troops throughout the week. Here, 3 additional Russian soldiers become targets for a drone while traversing the same route. In this instance, a lone Russian soldier walking along the road is targeted. Upon seeing the drone, he attempts to fall back, but the drone has already acquired him as a target. He seeks refuge behind a utility pole and tries to shoot it down, but is unsuccessful. It's not just infantry, but also the vehicles belonging to Russian soldiers that are being systematically destroyed. Motorcycles are being eliminated to deny their future use. In the same area, at the same location, another Russian soldier appears on the drone sensors. He approaches on a bicycle and then quickly tries to escape as the drone closes in. Despite firing at it multiple times, he was unable to avoid being neutralized. Russian soldiers were seen advancing toward the front line in the Avdiivka area. Their apparent lack of caution and discipline in a combat zone was notable. Throughout the summer, a significant number of fresh Russian troop reinforcements have been sent to the Ukrainian front. In another instance, a Russian soldier identified in an open field appeared so depleted and exhausted that he made no effort to evade the incoming drone that was targeting him. On August 3, 2025, a Ukrainian Ural truck and a D-30 howitzer were destroyed by the Ukrainian 422nd UAS Battalion, Luftwaffe, in the Kamyanskaya direction of southern Ukraine. In the Russian city of Belgorod, Ukrainian forces executed a drone strike on a vehicle. Specific details about the target have not been released at this time. Separately, a Russian soldier spotted on the Pokrovsk front was engaged by an FPV drone piloted by the Wormbusters unit, which is part of the 414th UAS Brigade and associated with the renowned Magyar's birds.
In open terrain, 2 Russian soldiers are seen moving quickly across a field while being pursued by a Ukrainian FPV drone. Under constant pressure, they attempt to fire bursts of gunfire toward the drone, but every shot misses its target. As the chase intensifies, the drone locks on to one soldier. In a desperate last attempt, the soldier hurls his rifle toward the incoming machine. Moments later, the drone detonates at close range, leaving little chance of survival.
Ukraine's 64th Mechanized Brigade executed a series of precise drone strikes in a key operational zone. First, a Russian military truck was targeted and destroyed, disrupting local logistics. Shortly after, a lone Russian soldier moving across open terrain was spotted and eliminated by an FPV drone. To complete the strike sequence, Ukrainian forces also targeted and hit a Russian satellite communication system, further degrading enemy coordination in the area. On the Kostiantynivka axis, Ukraine's uncrewed aerial systems regiment Phoenix located and destroyed a Russian 2S-1 Gwozdika self-propelled howitzer using an FPV drone. After the howitzer was neutralized, an advancing military vehicle also became the drone's next target. Ukrainian drone operators also neutralized Russian soldiers who were attempting to hide under bridges. On August 3, 2025, a Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet deployed GBU-62 bombs on structures where Russian assault teams were known to be positioned. The footage of this strike was released by the pilot famously known as Air Fighter. The attack resulted in the loss of more than 10 Russian soldiers. August 4, 2025. A unit of Russian soldiers taking shelter inside a derelict house found themselves the target of a Ukrainian drone attack. Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade conducted a special operation to demolish a critical bridge in the Zaporozhye region, which served as a key crossing point. Numerous mines were strategically placed on the bridge's supporting columns with the objective of halting Russian troop advances and gaining valuable time. Using an FPV drone to trigger the explosives, the bridge was completely destroyed. Many similar demolition efforts like this have significantly disrupted Russian advances and blocked the flow of ammunition and military supplies to their forces. Ukrainian fiber-optic FPV drones struck and destroyed a Russian military encampment located deep within a forest in the Liman direction. This operation was conducted by the Signum Battalion. The Russian camp was discovered to contain ammunition, food provisions, and various other types of equipment. In the initial strike on the well-equipped Russian military camp, the primary target was an underground shelter that had been constructed beneath the site. The second drone strike targeted vehicles that had been camouflaged and concealed within the camp. Despite being well hidden, the Russian vehicles could not evade the detection of experienced Ukrainian drone operators. 2 Russian soldiers were observed moving in and out of a trench that initially seemed to be abandoned but was revealed to be active by their presence. Ukrainian forces promptly launched a kamikaze drone to neutralize the position. Outfitted with a powerful explosive charge, the drone successfully penetrated the trench entrance, triggering a massive detonation inside. The panicked Russian soldiers scrambled out and attempted to shoot down a subsequent drone that was pursuing them. Failing to do so, they retreated back into the trench. Immediately following this, a second drone strike was initiated, this time aimed at the other entrance of the fortified position. This method of attack was repeated multiple times in rapid succession. Afterward, no further movement was detected from the Russian soldiers within. This engagement clearly illustrates the ongoing vulnerability of Russian ground troops to relentless drone assaults. The battle for Chasiv Yar continues. Ukraine's 24th Mechanized Brigade launched a high-explosive FPV strike on a Russian trench. The resulting blast completely obliterated the defensive position. A second strike targeted an antenna that had been installed in a tree. A Ukrainian FPV drone successfully intercepted and shot down a Russian Mavic drone that was transporting ammunition using a specialized net launcher. The ammunition it was carrying detonated upon impact. Ukraine's 64th Mechanized Brigade carried out kamikaze and FPV drone strikes on Russian supply routes. One by one, Russian military vehicles transporting ammunition and food to the front lines were targeted and hit by these drones. Military vehicles weren't the only target. Once again, a solitary Russian soldier spotted in open terrain was targeted by an FPV drone. Although he attempted to resist for a moment, he eventually resigned himself to his fate and awaited the drone's impact. 3 powerful new Russian black-eyed drone jammers located in Bryansk, which is under Russian control, were destroyed by Ukrainian forces. An additional 6 Russian UAVs were destroyed thanks to the efforts of the 1129th Anti-Aircraft Missile Regiment. With their support, 2 Lancets, 3 Molnias, and 1 Zala were taken out before they could threaten Ukrainian defenders in the Pokrovsk direction. This success underscores the growing effectiveness of Ukraine's air defense systems. A determined response against Russia's advanced UAVs like this can directly influence the balance of power on the battlefield. As of August 4, 2025, the war between Ukraine and Russia remains a fierce and evolving conflict with significant developments on multiple fronts. Ukrainian forces have intensified their use of advanced UAV technology, including FPV and kamikaze drones, to carry out precision strikes against Russian troop concentrations, armored vehicles, logistics hubs, and communication systems. These drone operations have severely disrupted Russian supply lines and command networks, limiting their ability to reinforce and resupply frontline units effectively. Overall, the conflict as of early August 2025 is characterized by high-intensity engagements, advanced technological warfare, and a persistent stalemate punctuated by localized Ukrainian gains that challenge Russian ambitions in the region. Ukrainian forces continue to carry out FPV and kamikaze drone strikes on abandoned houses and buildings that have been converted into defensive positions by Russian soldiers. These drones are used to precisely target hiding spots, entering through windows, doors, or rooftops to effectively neutralize the threat inside. Such operations prevent the reuse of these structures and disrupt Russian efforts to fortify or conceal positions in contested areas. These drone attacks have become a crucial part of Ukraine's strategy to weaken the Russian hold on contested territories. By striking from above with precision and speed, Ukrainian forces minimize their own risk while maximizing damage to enemy fortifications.